Good evening, everybody. I'm Kath from Make the Change, and it's Wednesday evening, which means it is Let's Talk. And this evening, we're going to be discussing keeping a healthy self-belief system. Now, the reason why I wanted to speak about this tonight was because when I was at the NEC doing Mind, Body and Spirit the other weekend, I was speaking to a lot of people who were very unsure about themselves, their self-worth, their self-esteem, their confidence levels were low. But in particular, this lady, I just happened to be standing on the side of my stand, and this lady came past and she was like all in a fluster, and she says, it's Amazon, everybody's selling by Amazon and everybody's trying to sell me something. And I said, I managed to keep her attention and sort of draw her back to me. And I said, come and talk to me a minute. And she said, everybody's trying to sell me something and I haven't got any money to be able to buy anything because I'm a pensioner and everybody's trying to force me into buying something. And I said, well, have you been, how about being honest with them and just saying that you can't afford it? She says, I've done that. And people tell me that I haven't saved properly and I haven't been looking after my finances properly. And I said, well, how do you know that? And she said, because they said so. And eventually I managed to persuade her to come and sit down in my stand and, to just try and talk to me a little bit and to try and help her to calm down a little bit. And I said, just sit a minute and we'll do some breathing. And I could tell that she was, interested in self-help. She got her yoga pants on and she got her yoga mat with her. So I said, why don't we just do some breathing? I haven't got time, I'm busy, I'm too hot. I said, well, just put your bag down a minute, it'll be okay. And just put your coat down and just try and relax a little minute and cool yourself down. I said, how about, would you like me to take you through a calming visualization? I haven't got time, I'm too hot, I need to go and put my coat in the cloakroom. And in the end she just sort of got up in all of a fluster and sort of dashed off. And I did see her wandering around a little bit later. And I tried to catch her eye, but she wasn't going to engage in conversation with me. So when we're talking about self-belief, what are we actually talking about? Well, we're actually talking about what you believe to be true about yourself, whether that is good or whether it is bad. And, for a lot of people, they really struggle with their belief system. I went through this for many, many years because my school reports mostly said she tries hard but could do better, she needs to concentrate more. And then I accidentally, in the same summer, I got my O-level results and my sister got her A-level results, and I overheard my mum having a conversation with my uncle who had rung up to find out how we'd got on. And I overheard my mum gushing with pride with my sister's 2 A's and 2 B's at A-level and my 4 O-levels, and which didn't include my English language. And she said, we're very disappointed in Kath. So what did I choose to believe? I chose to believe what my mother had said, and also what all of those school reports said as well. And back then, when you're that age, you think that everything is to do with school and exam results and nothing else. And so, as I went through life up until, perhaps 10 years ago, I always felt inferior, that I wasn't intelligent, that I couldn't achieve, that I would be a disappointment. And so that is what is called self-sabotage. And unfortunately, the majority of us do that without us even realizing it. And, I was chatting with a lady yesterday on the phone, and we were just talking about the subconscious, and, it is astonishing that, the majority, almost 95% of the decisions that we make are made by our subconscious. So when you are feeding yourself self-sabotaging stories, then how is that going to, you can see the connection and where that is leading towards with your decision making, that you probably won't make the most of opportunities that are coming your way, or notice things that could actually be good for you. But then on the other side, what you're doing is, when things don't happen the way, successfully, or quite as good as you wanted, you're going to start saying to yourself, well, it was bound to happen because I was a disappointment at school, I didn't do well in my exam results, my mother was disappointed, and I know that because I heard her say that. And on your brain goes, recycling information that was perhaps 30 years plus ago. Okay, and then what effect does that have on you? Well, that is, a poor or unhealthy belief system about yourself is going to have an effect on your self-confidence levels, on your self-esteem levels, on your self-worth levels. And so you're not going to put your best foot forwards. So how do you manage it? Well, it's about being quite harsh on yourself, to put it quite plainly. And when you have a self-doubt, or you are wanting to go back over situations in the past and try and overcome, limiting self-beliefs, you're going to have to go back to basics, which is about putting your hand on your heart, putting your hand on your brain, marrying the two up together, and really digging deep and asking yourself, how do I know that is true? And yes, you're going to come up with some answers. Well, I know that was true because school said it was true. My mum said it was true. I didn't achieve the exams that I wanted to. But then the next question is, how long ago was that? And this is really, really important, because if it was yesterday that these people said these things, then, there may be something definitely there. Hold that thought. But if it was over 30 years ago, you've changed since then. You're not the same person as you were 30 years ago. And just because you didn't get your English language O-level for 4 times, it doesn't mean to say you're useless. It just means to say that you found it a bit difficult, that you need a little bit of extra support, but it doesn't mean to say that you can't achieve things in the future, because at the end of the day, we're all different, aren't we? What one person is good at, another person isn't, and vice versa. Okay, so I wasn't an academic person. Simple as that. Well, I still wouldn't class myself as an academic person, but I've managed to get through life without 2 A's and 2 B's at A level, without a first class degree, all right, and I've been able to manage and get by and actually be successful. And this is the other thing, isn't it? What is success? Is it the 2 A's and the 2 B's at A level? Is it the rocketing salary? Or is it about being happy, being content, working in your best capacity, doing the best that you can do, running a happy household, having great friends around you? And again, that is going to be different for everybody, because we all have different personalities. So let's go back to that little section where I said, hold that thought. So if somebody said that to you yesterday, that you're a disappointment, that you don't try hard enough, okay, how true is that? And only you know this information, and this is why you've got to put your hand on your heart. Did you not try hard enough? Could you actually have spent a bit more time doing it? Okay, or was it a real struggle for you? Okay, and this might be the chance to go back to that person who said it and actually, in a gentle way, is challenge that person on what they said to you about you. Okay, and ask them to explain a little bit more, because they might not have used the right terms or the right terminology, sorry, and actually they might have meant something a little bit different, which, you know, with that constructive feedback, you're in a better position to be able to do something about. But again, it's remembering you're not going to be good at everything. Okay, yes, we can try really, really hard and do our utmost, and that is what, you know, is all we can expect from people. And it might not turn out 100% perfect, but that's okay, you know, because nobody's perfect. We're all different, okay? And in any case, what would a perfect person look like? What would they sound like? What do you think that perfect person might be feeling inside? What do you think they are saying to themselves? Because we do have a very, I'm trying to think of the right word, we can, you know, have a very warped view of other people's perception of us and our perception of other people. Okay, and this is about being realistic, isn't it? You know, understanding that on the outside they might look happy, content, successful, having the best life ever, but we don't know what's going on inside. We don't know what's going on inside in their body and inside their head, inside their family, and inside their social life. Okay, so, you know, it's about being realistic, it's about reasoning things out so that you can find the right level of, I can't think of the right word that I'm looking for, the right level of balance between what you perceive to be true and what other people perceive to be true. And, you know, if those people are saying that you haven't tried hard enough, that you're not good enough, well, then perhaps it's time to say, well, perhaps you could help me. Perhaps you could show me how it's done. Because there's always going to be somebody who is going to criticise what you're doing. Okay? And if they criticise and then come and help you, well, that's fair enough. But if they criticise and then go, no, I'm not going to help you do that, I haven't got time to do that, well, it might be that they actually can't do it themselves either. So it's just being reasonable with yourself, with your thoughts, with your feelings, so that you don't self-sabotage yourself. So if you're struggling with your self-sabotage, then the first place to start is start making a list of your strengths, what you're good at, even however small it is. Okay, you know, because it's like I've said before, it's the little things that all clump together to make bigger things. So if you think about you know, the different flowers that you see in somebody's garden, okay, and you see great big sunflowers, big and bold and standing there facing the sun and saying, look at me. And then you get the other flowers, don't you, with the tiny, tiny little buds that make up a great big floret of flower. Okay, and they are just as beautiful and just as important as the great big sunflowers. Okay, so your homework for this week is to write your list of skills, great characteristics, and the things that you're good at, even if it's about knitting an Oxfam square. Okay, I can just about do that, so that's one thing I need to work at. And look at the list and just see what you've put down there, because when you go back to a self-sabotaging thought or habit, just go back to that list and just have a look at all the great things that you can do, because everybody is good at a lot of things, whatever they are. So I'm going to love you and leave you tonight, but if you want to feel more emotionally balanced and happier with yourself, then why not connect with my top 10 tips to keeping yourself sane? I'll post the link underneath, all right? And that will help you get the emotional balance whilst you are managing your self-sabotaging habits around your self-belief system. So I'm going to love you and leave you now. Have a great evening. If you want any help with your list of skills or qualifications, you can ask me. But also, you've all got some great friends and great family who will actually help you with that as well. All you've got to do is ask. So have a great week. I'll speak to you next Wednesday. Let's talk at 8 o'clock. And I love you and leave you now. Bye bye.